Good evening, my friends. Thank you for coming back to another Tony Montana video. Please say hello to my little friend here, Copy. He's saying hello to you guys back. I hope you're going to have a good time. We're going to talk about, obviously, about the Blue Dogs. And but first I want to show you, this is the son. They just turned a year old. So not just a couple of weeks ago, I just didn't realize the date. Here it comes. Now I say move. Copy. Out of there. Sometimes when they're not in the right attitude, they're right now they're full. They just ate good chicken, so that helps the mind. You guys, you can look it up. There's several studies where when they gave people, this was done with people, protein-based meals right before making decisions, like emotional decisions, and other group they gave carbohydrate-based meals. They noticed that the ones that ate protein were more mellow in their in their decisions. They were less aggressive in their decisions, and that is because, and this is not something I was going to talk about, but while I'm at it, otherwise I'll just forget it to mention it. So that is part of the reason why there is a level of calmness in my pack, because protein, after you ate protein, there's chemicals that go into your brain, to the brain, of satisfaction, of relaxation, and that doesn't get done with when you're feeding them kibble. Kibble, they might feel full, but that chemical reaction doesn't come as much as with when you're feeding them protein-based meals. And you guys know about the kibble is based on protein, and kibble is based on meats. So there you go. But no, it's completely different. That is already being processed. That has been put first, before they grab the chicken, for example, chicken bone. The process to make them powder or powder, and then they press it together to with other things and to make the kibble. So you destroy a lot of the things in that process of heating and then putting together. It just you remove the water as well, which is part of the component. It's just so much. It's not the same. So anyway, let's move to the topic. Somebody was telling me that people are saying, some individuals are saying that the reason that the breeders today are the reason Blue Dogs exist now, and that the Blue Dog is the one part of the reason why the American Pitbull Terrier is going down being destroyed. So I'm like, it's just the person that said this. Again, it sounds like two things. Either they have an agenda and they're ignoring the facts and history of the evolution of this breed, or what? I mean, you're like, or what? Are they naive, uneducated, or undereducated? So many things, so many question marks, and again, this is when you start using your mind. Again, I'm trying to get people that think for themselves. I'm not trying to always tell you the things. I'm trying to help you learn how to how to analyze what other people tell you. So let's look at the Blue Dog. I have a video already about it, Blue Dogs, but again, because it came back and it seems like there was advertising it like, oh, it's dead. these damn backyard breeders, they're creating these blue dogs, and it's not really true. As I said, we got to go back and say, no, there is no blue American Pitbull Terriers today. So, but however, when you can reference back to my other video, I'm not too. If I was too much into the computer, I would probably put like a little pop up somewhere or something so you could see it. But maybe I'll eventually do that. Or I'll do it maybe tomorrow, whatever. So at the beginning, when the American Pitbull Terrier, when it was already established, early establishment of the breed, just beginning of the establishment of the breed, in the early 1900s, the mix, the genetic pool in that breed that was called the American Pitbull Terrier was very diverse. So the dogs were looked many different ways still, because it had not been purified, has not been honed. They had the breed because of the function, but the phenotype, a lot of the things were not honed because there was still, still things to be improved. And obviously, through the generation, the creation of rules that govern the function of these dogs, that changed the dog. That changed how the dog, what worked, what seemed, basically pulled out the genetic things that the dog from that breed that didn't work. So let's backtrack and say, when did the American Pitbull Terrier split into two branches? That one stayed named the American Pitbull Terrier, and the other one changed its name to the American Staffordshire Terrier. So note here, yes, they are blue American Staffordshire Terriers. Yes, they are in there, and the reason why the American Pitbull Terrier doesn't have it was because of that division in the early 1900s, where the individuals that decided to move to the name American Staffordshire Terrier, which is a beautiful name, very nice sounding. They were against the history. I mean, I don't want to talk for them. I'm just gonna be very general about it. It's the 1900s. I'm here talking about them almost 200 years ago. 100 years ago. Almost 100 years after this happened. So when when they divided the people, the people that they went to became the American Staffordshire Terrier, and started making decisions about how to cross these dogs, completely different, or very different, if not completely, very different than what the breeders of American Pitbull Terrier dogs decided to do, and how they decided to pick those individuals. So in the American Pitbull Terrier branch, they started purifying or honing, tightening the genetics to the point, obviously eliminating what didn't work from the genetics through breeding, through crossing, and then honing in inbreeding, and in a way that it eliminated what didn't work or didn't work good enough. Maybe it worked at the beginning, but once the evolution of dogs went to the next generation, next step in that evolution, that they no longer were able to work properly or well enough to continue their genetics. So those individuals that still had that blue in them, and because of that blue in them, and we could reference the blue pole dogs, they were around in the beginning, so that could have been part of it. Those other dogs came from Ireland, could have had a lot of blue in them because the blue pole was from not Ireland. I meant Scotland. So they came from Scotland. So, but again, only what worked, functioned, governed what stayed in the genetics of the American People Terrier, and looks in some other things. I'm not going to say just looks, but I believe it's mostly looks. Obviously, I'm sure there's a level of attitude that you need to they expect it, but overall, there was a big difference. And that's the reason why the American People Terrier doesn't have any more blue dogs in their genetics. But doesn't mean that just because you see a dog that looks like an American People Terrier but blue, oh, that's a cross. No, that just happens to be an American Staffordshire Terrier. And people that own it should acknowledge and say, hey, that's a beautiful name. It's a very, very nice, name. So why not use it instead of saying, it is a blue Pitbull? It's so anyway. I hope you enjoy this little piece of information. Again, be smart. Pay attention to the people that you listen to. Question them. Question me if you want. No problem. I'm here to just educate about the breed, educate about anything that I can, and I'm open-minded. I don't believe myself to know it all. I do enjoy studying the dogs. They are my teachers. Anyway, this is Tony Montana. Thank you for listening.